Sasuke and Itachi, the Brotherhood. Such a good story. I love Itachi's story. Let's draw this. So Sasuke's on his back. You've seen the thumbnail. So we'll start with Itachi here. So he's kind of like, his head is tilted, right? Diagonally, sort of like rotated looking back. So we take that into account. So we just start here. Up. Across, right? Kind of flat across there on top. Then there is a spike that way. And then we go across the bottom. So Itachi has like a lot of like eyelashes. And two sort of sticking out down here as well. And then they're just big black standard eyes. There's no shine in them, but I will leave a shine, I think. So two ways of doing that. You can color it first and then do a white dot with paint, or you could leave a little dot like that. Multiple ways of doing it. Then we got an eyelid line above the top. And then his eyebrow. Just sort of a check mark going back. And then you want the front to be thicker than the back. Itachi has those facial lines, those characteristic kind of lines that he has. And then his nose comes down there. And then a nostril. And his eye is tucked in, sort of looking up that way, right? So it's tucked in behind the bridge of his nose, right? So this kind of touches his eyebrow. So the eyebrow kind of goes vertical up because it's kind of turned away from us. That way. So it's like a sharper angle than this. And then his other eye is kind of tucked in behind his hair, but maybe we'll draw it all. Kind of like a spike. That'll be covered with hair probably. We'll just go down then. Like so. And then his eye again, looking over his shoulder at his younger brother. This is all that sort of black eye disc. We'll put a highlight. And we'll do two sort of eyelashes there. Now this will be covered, so don't worry too much. And his eyelid line is like here. And then eyeline there. So his eyelashes might be that big on that side. Yeah, maybe I'll make it just a little bit smaller. You can leave it, depends. So just maybe just make it a bit spikier or a bit more vertical or something there. It looked a bit fluffy, maybe. I don't know if I'm changing it that much, but maybe that looks a bit better. Don't be afraid to change things as you go. Okay, so he's super happy. Smile. Sort of two-part smile. And then his bottom lip, they only do a shadow, but we'll do a little line there. Can't see his chin. So his collar comes across his face, right? Like that. And then his cheek sort of comes out from the collar. Like that. And then his jaw will be sort of curving this way. So then hair, so he has like a spike at the top of his forehead. Your forehead is about the same size as your nose. So this and this are about the same distance. Say the bottom of the nose to the eyebrow. We'll bring your eyebrow to the hairline. And then you can do your V out of there in the middle. So he's got like a little hairline that just comes across here. And then those Uchiha sort of characteristic black kind of hair spikes that start to hang down then. So another little one in behind. And it goes that way. Same pretty much, so we can see a bit more maybe on this side. So like a spike there. And then up. Then another one. See a bit of his ear there, I think. One more spike. Right, so Sasuke's elbow comes out here, but we can see his ear sort of sticking out there, and then like joins his jaw somewhere in here. And then his hair. So it's like, this is like Sasuke's elbow and Itachi's hair coming out here, right? It's gonna just round. Down that way. And we can see his neck. Up here. The collar sort of disappears around that way. Neck muscle that way. Collar. There. So before we deal with sort of all this anatomy, right, because we got like two hands and everything, I'll do Sasuke's sort of head just here beside, and then we'll deal with sort of the body, all right? So Sasuke's arm just like pops out behind Itachi's head here, so it comes down that way. So he's looking over at Sasuke, right? And Sasuke's eyes are closed. So real sort of happy eyes, right? So one comes out right here. It's kind of a thick line. Seeing Sasuke this happy with his brother makes you understand why he was so crushed by Itachi's decisions to do the things he did. So this is his eyelash line. And then he's got an eyelid line. And then an eyebrow check mark there. And then this is like thick and dark as well. And then the other one, so very arched, you can see the whole thing. Might go underneath hair a little bit. Like super happy, closed, upturned eye. And then again, you get a small eyelid line and then an eyebrow. Okay, so like he's a kid, so like the little small sort of nose here and a nostril, and then a big smile on his face, upturned corners of the mouth, and you can see his mouth open, you know, he's laughing. So that's like his tongue, right? You could do a teeth if you want. And then, so his chin, I think, comes this way. Could be his collar, but very round sort of face. Just up to the corner of his eye. And then we have the big sort of hair spikes again. Lots across his fringe. You can see a bit of his ear in here. And the back of his head, so it goes up and back. So they go up, back. It kind of like bumps a bit here, and then we get the spikes at the back of his head. And then his collar comes just underneath his chin. Like his shoulder sort of bumps down here, right? So we can see his back going that way, and his arm sort of covers a good bit of this now. So that's collar, and then like his back comes this way. Okay, so now we got bodies and t-shirts and arms and all that stuff. So the Sasuke's arms like crisscross here, so we'll get his sleeves in. I might do the hands together because they're like a whole thing, so hands are tricky. Right, and his arm just sort of bumps and folds kind of this way, just in behind this one. It's like his armpit here. And his shoulder sort of and back just goes this way. We meet Itachi's arm there. Okay, so let's see. What I do? So so the front of Itachi's body just comes down here. And then his shoulder goes this way. So we got like his sleeve, right? It's a short sleeve, like a t-shirt thing. And then we can see Sasuke's leg and Itachi's arm. So Sasuke's leg, so it comes, his knee comes out this way and down for his shin. Right, so you got like his knee, and he's got like sock. Well, it's not socks; it's the bandages. And then I think we can see Itachi's arm, elbow there, and then like Sasuke's thigh or something there. And then another knee sticking out there, and then bandaged leg again there, and his hand, and then okay, so we got to do the hands. So there's two hands in here, right? Hands are tricky, take your time, they're never easy. Hit pause if I move too fast. So we can see his thumb coming out here. Now it's all about knuckles and stuff when you're doing hands. So it kind of bumps up, down and up again, down and up again. See, it's like three sort of segments to fingers. 1, 2. And then the thumbnail is kind of like just there. Then his index finger. That way. And then ring finger. Back of the hand. And then he's grabbing Itachi's shoulder. So it's like grip over this side. So knuckle lines. Another one. See the bottom of this finger. Like fingernails often help, you know, little things like that to make it look like fingers more. And then again, curved over. Itachi's shoulder then. And it's a loose fitting t-shirt, so it's all these sort of bumpy lines like that. And then his like arm goes back around. So it's underneath Sasuke's legs. And there they are. The Uchiha brothers. Itachi and Sasuke. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Bye.